Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Sauce. It's the backup channel back in Celeb Up and bringing you all the breaking news. This week, a young man named Love Benji went on Instagram and he claimed that LL Cool J, aka James Todd Smith, is his biological father. Love Benji said that LL has tried to keep him hidden for years and even tricked him into signing an NDA to prevent his existence from being known. Benji also said that he's not close to LL, but LL hits him off with like $200 every now and again. Check out what your boy Benji had to say.
It takes a lot of courage for me to be able to talk about this now at the age that I am. They made me sign paperwork, they didn't want it to go public. Since probably around COVID. They wanted to silence me. Ever since my mother really told me the truth, I feel like it should be public. I need to just get this off my chest. I want to give thanks to you too, man. James Todd Smith. That's what I know him as. Father, great man. But many of you probably know him as LL Cool J. Blocked me from all social medias. I tried to take trips to see him. Him, his beautiful wife, siblings, brothers and sisters. I never knew why I wanted to make music, why I wanted to be an actor. Or I wanted to be these things. Turns out my father is LL Cool J. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. He'll send me money every now and then, probably $200 a month. But it ain't about the money. Bless me with the charm, the ladies, charisma. I really didn't want to take it here and have the blogs blow it up or nothing like that. Since he blocked my number, I haven't heard much from him. I feel like this is how I'll be able to reach out to him. That's my truths.
Well, that's what he had to say, and it appears that a source close to LL Cool J has something to say too. A source said, quote, "The claim in this video is false. It looks like the creator was doing a skit and joking about this, and we can confirm there is zero truth to this claim." End quote. Listen, if this actually is like a skit and this kid is just playing around, then this kid is jacked up because LL Cool J has a family and you can't be doing stuff like that because you can mess up the matrix, you know what I'm saying? However, if this kid is actually LL Cool J's son and he's only been sending this kid $200 a month and he has not helped to raise this kid, then that would be equally as jacked up. Because you know how they say, mother's baby is daddy's maybe? It shouldn't be that way. Daddy has a responsibility too, and he needs to stick around to take care of his seed. I don't know what's up with these dudes. You can't just be dropping seed and then just be going off doing whatever you want to do. Let me see if I can explain this. When you do the triple pump action without the Jimmy hat, and you create another human, you need to raise said human, and it is not only one parent's responsibility. And guess what? Child support don't teach that kid how to read. Child support don't give that kid a bath. And while child support might buy some food, it certainly doesn't cook it and put it in the kid's mouth. You know why? Because child support is not a parent. And on top of that, just because you don't want to be in a relationship with the person you had the kid with doesn't mean you just walk away from the kid. And you know what else kills me? You know some of these dudes who walk away from their kids but then they creep back to the ex-baby mama because they want to get a little nookie? You know what these chicks should do? Do not sleep with these dudes. Instead, go get your checkbook, write them a check, hand it to them and kick them out the door. And when they ask you what is this for, tell them it's for sexual support. And before you come in the comments talking mess, I'm not talking about parents who pay child support who are still an integral part of their children's lives. I'm talking about the ones who just walk away and never look back, except to get some nookie. And shout out to all the single fathers out there who are doing their thing, because it's not easy for you too. And when that deadbeat baby mama of yours tries to creep back to get some D, don't give her no D either. And with that being said, if you're a parent who sent the check, but you haven't seen your kid in a while, go see your kid or pick up the phone and call them, because they need the FaceTime. And while we're talking about kids and parenting, the other day your girl ErykahBadu was on The Breakfast Club, and when she was talking to Charlamagne the God, Charlamagne brought up the fact that she has 3 different baby daddies, and he asked her, how come you've never been labeled like other women get labeled for having 3 different baby daddies? And ErykahBadu said, quote, I guess I'm lucky, end quote. ErykahBadu went on to say, quote, I think if you're transparent, people shouldn't do that. No one would expect to have 3 baby daddies. Who plans that? But when those things do start to happen, you don't stop living. You continue to grow and live and learn and make the best out of those situations and things. Who would want to do that in this judgmental society? End quote. ErykahBadu went on to say, quote, "Love is a chemical thing. We fall in love. I think God made us fall in love just long enough to get pregnant so that we could go ahead and procreate, keep the race going, and that dies down, and then everything else is on you. Depending on your culture, next step is marriage, or next step is another mate. In our culture, our next step is supposed to be marriage, and it doesn't fit everybody. That doesn't fit me." End quote. You know what? I think Erykah's right, because in my entire life, I have known many different women, and never ever have I ever heard a chick say, "You know what my dream is? When I grow up, I want to have like 4 or 5 different baby daddies. I want to pull a Nick Cannon." I have never heard a woman say that in my life. And although I know there are some women who are just out there, for most women, that is not the goal. However, like Badu says, sometimes ish happens. And what are you gonna do? Stop living? Hey yo, let me know what you think about what ErykahBadu said in the comments. Do humans fall in love just long enough to procreate and then the rest is on them? Is Erykah right? Or is your girl wilding out right now? Listen, on to the next story. The other day, your girl Nicki Minaj went online and she announced the return of Queen Radio, and she did it while wearing a 2-piece bikini. Nicki said, quote, hashtag Queen Radio, 3 at 3 p.m. PST. Bad gal don't die, 100 rounds on that gratata. End quote. Look, I am sure that a whole bunch of Nicki's fans are very excited that she's coming back with the Queen Radio, but my question is, she couldn't have made that announcement with her clothes on? I mean, please. And I mean, it's not personal, I'm just tired of seeing these chicks selling their bodies instead of their songs. And it's making me think back. When was the last time there was a successful female rapper that didn't have to show her T and A to get ahead? Was it the Brat? I can't even remember. Let me know in the comments. Now check it out. The other day, Tariq Nasheed was doing an interview, and while he was doing the interview, he said that Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with the creation of hip-hop, and he also said that the reason why all of these people want to claim hip-hop now is because it's getting ready to be big business now that breakdancing's about to be part of the Olympics. Check out what your boy had to say.
Going into hip-hop. Hip-hop is a foundational Black American creation. It's a positive creation that has changed the world. Instead of saying, hey, it's foundational Black Americans who created this culture, the narrative, well, Jamaicans helped do it too. Puerto Ricans helped do it too. Now they're saying Italians helped create some goddamn hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So instead of just giving us the credit, everybody has to kind of pick off of it and kind of vulture credit for themselves instead of giving us the credit for it. That's the problem.
Well, okay, I was gonna get to the hip hop thing.
Yeah.
I think the hip hop, the history of hip hop conversations is very important because hip hop is not just rapping.
No, it's not.
Erykah Badu broke down the elements, and most of us who are hip hop heads follow those elements from breakdancing, graffiti writing, DJing, rapping as well.
All from foundational Black Americans, all of it.
Well,
all created by FBAs.
There's no doubt Puerto Ricans were present in the
present doesn't mean create. Present doesn't mean create. They were present. They were 1 or 2 at a couple of parties. They didn't create anything.
Well, how do we define create?
Create means you did something that nobody else was doing.
Okay. When it comes to breakdancing, there were Puerto Ricans creating breakdancing moves that nobody else was doing.
No, they were doing moves that some of the old breakdancers were doing. Crazy Legs and those dudes admitted they were doing old dance moves that the FBA dancers were doing. Puerto Ricans didn't start breaking until the late 70s, early 80s.
Tariq Nasheed went on to say the rappers out here like Fat Joe who claim that Puerto Ricans were part of the foundations of hip-hop are mad disrespectful. Check it out.
So they just picked up on what the brothers were already doing. Give the brothers their credit. It's not that hard to give foundational Black Americans.
I want to give brothers credit, but
yes.
I personally am going to give Puerto Ricans credit too, especially when it comes to breakdancing.
I give them credit. If you created something, I give you credit. They didn't create breakdancing. They didn't create rapping. They didn't create DJing. They didn't create graffiti. They expanded and just did what we were doing and kind of put their own spin on it, and that's not creating. Being there is not creating. See, Fat Joe was going around talking about, yeah, we created, hip-hop was created by Latins and blacks 50-50. That's disrespectful. That's extremely disrespectful because that's a complete lie. Ain't no 50-50. Some Puerto Rican being in the Bronx in the 70s ain't 50-50. That's very dismissive, and that's a form of colonization too.
Tariq went on to say that he also doesn't believe that Jamaicans can lay a claim to hip-hop either. I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily 100% agree with Tariq Nasheed, because as an African-American woman who has a Puerto Rican father, it's not that simple to say this person is a foundational black and this person isn't. I don't understand that. And on top of that, African-American culture in the United States is made up of many different cultures, which include Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, and others who originated on the continent of Africa. And the roots of hip-hop actually go back to like the call and response that the African tribes were doing back on the mother continent. So to say something like foundational blacks created it, but Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans had no part in it, I don't know how accurate that is, because these other people are part of your people. So unless your boy Tariq Nasheed was walking around with the 23andMe test kit or the Ancestry.com DNA kit running around testing all the founders that contributed to hip-hop, I don't know how you could say that. What are you doing? You're like, listen, I got the test results back. You're a foundational black, so you contributed to hip-hop. However, you came back black Hispanic. You ain't contribute to hip-hop. But those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you think. Let me know what you think about what your boy Tariq said in the comments. And while you're leaving your comment, make sure you smash that like button, because I'm telling you, YouTube don't give me no burn unless you guys smash that button. And honestly, I'm not asking you to marry me, I'm just asking you to like me. Hey yo, on to the next story. Yesterday, Nipsey Hussle's killer, Eric Holder, was sentenced, and the judge gave him 60 years to life. Before the judge decided how much time this dude was gonna get for killing Nip, the court read a very heartfelt letter from Nipsey's father, and a couple of his friends spoke on his behalf. One person said, quote, Nipsey was my friend. He was like a son. He was like a dad. Our community right now, we lost everything. Everything we worked for. One man's mistake, one man's action messed up the whole community. I don't care what you give this guy. It ain't about the time. I just want to know why. The world wants to know why. Why would somebody do that? End quote. Listen, who knows why these dudes out here in the streets do the things that they do? Because it makes absolutely no sense. And I gotta tell you, even though we can never bring Nip back, this is the best outcome that we could hope for. Because at least this dude will never be back out in the streets so he can hurt anybody else. And listen, while we're talking about Nip, make sure you put up a prayer for Lauren London and the kids. Because no matter how much time goes by, you know, it's still tough. Now check it out. The other day, your boy Bow Wow went online and he was like, male groupies are worse than female groupies. And he was like, yo, dudes, y'all gotta stop thirst balling. According to Bow, female groupies know their place in a club. However, male groupies don't know their place and they wanna get all up in your space. Bow said, quote, I don't care what y'all say. Men have to be the most groupied out, annoyingest creatures in a nightclub. It's not the ladies. It's not the women. I tell women this all the time. They be like, oh, this section gonna be full of groupies. Yeah, it's gonna be some baddies for sure. That's the only way it's gotta be. But these dudes though, you gotta stop thirst balling in the club. End quote. Bow went on to say, quote, this ish is crazy. Ninjas be pushing the women out the way to get close as they can to the dude, like to the celebrity. That ish gotta stop. End quote. Listen, Bow is wilding out though, but I think Bow is telling the truth because I don't understand. If you're like a dude, why are you pushing some chick out the way to see Bow Wow? That's crazy. Listen, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.